Anyone in the wrong place? Escape now. Cool. I like how they've kept us in this really dark room. Like, you know, because as gamers, you know, bright lights scare us. They left the brighter room for those who go outside.
Yeah, this is a bit dark here. So,
yeah, it's
nice. Are you guys
nice.
asleep? I cannot see if you are awake. Or... Yeah? Oh, all right. Only one person is awake. So guys, my name is Victor, and I'm going to be the moderator for this gaming panel. And I'm very excited that I think it's the first gaming panel that we have actually in Summer in the City. So that's kind of nice to see different things.
We had one last year. I was here. As someone who was on the gaming panel last year, I'm glad it was so memorable.
Well, don't bully his phone. Come on.
Whoops. And I just want to highlight why gaming is important. Who knows who is the biggest YouTuber?
PewDiePie.
And what is he doing? Who is the second biggest YouTuber? Wow. Everybody remember the first, the second, doesn't matter. It's Oya German, and he has a gaming channel. And who is the third YouTuber? Smosh, and he has a gaming channel as well. And who is the fourth YouTuber? Rihanna, so it's fine.
Wow. I would like to see Rihanna's gaming channel.
Yeah, she should start one. Alright guys, so maybe what we can start with, because I don't want to talk too much. I'm just a normal person working at YouTube, so I work with people like Angry Birds and Mojang at YouTube, but you are the guys that are creating the content and doing better stuff than me, so maybe we can just start, but you can all have a quick introduction, tell us who you are in case some people don't know, and what your channel is about, and maybe add like how did you get started with YouTube in general? You want to start?
Oh, okay, I guess I'll start. Okay, well, I'm ldshadowlady, and I've been on YouTube since 2010. I now have over 500,000 subscribers. I play mostly Minecraft and some Mrweebl and other indie games, whatever interests me, and I really enjoy it. It's a lot of fun.
Shall I go next?
Yep.
Okay, is this thing? Hi, hello! Most of you probably don't know me, but my name is Sasha Spielberg. I came here all the way from Russia, and I'm really, really excited to be here. I'm the most subscribed Russian gamer, female gamer, I'm sorry.
Yay!
Thank you. And yeah, I'm really excited to be here. I play games like Sims 3 and Grand Theft Auto. I'm not sure how you pronounce that in English though. Mainstream games, but Russians like them, so yeah.
How many subscribers you get?
I have over 1 million subscribers. Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah. Hi, so I'm Watt, and I'm from Nerdcubed. I was one of the two founders of the channel back before we were really a channel, webcomics. We did a webcomic where everything was based in Minecraft, and then because we just used that as a narrative medium just because it was so obviously versatile, and then our fans said, do Let's Plays, and we started doing them, and they liked them. So then that kind of took off, and the comic died a painful death. So that's kind of how we started up. We now do more sort of vlogs and things, and I'm slightly more in charge of the in real life stuff, but I also still take part in doing the gaming stuff. And we have now got quite a few people, including Matt, who runs our community.
Well, that's a good introduction to me. I'm Matt. I run the Nerdcube community side. I've been doing that for about 2 years, but I was hired quite recently, and I run my own little gaming channel, but I know quite a lot about the whole subject. That's about it. What introduced Nerdcube quite well there.
Cool, great guys. So you haven't told us how you got actually started in YouTube. What, just you woke up one morning and you say, I'm going to make a video, or how did you get started?
I started watching a lot of YouTubers, I think, as most YouTubers started, so I was...
Sorry, could you get closer to the microphone?
Hang on, is this close enough?
That's better.
Okay. So I started watching a lot of YouTubers, mostly Minecraft. I actually started with Call of Duty, so I got really into that, and I was no good at it, so that didn't really take off. But in the meantime, while I was working on my Call of Duty channel, I was watching a lot of Minecraft, and I was watching Zach Scott and ZX No Regrets, if you know who he is, and yeah, I just one day was like, oh, sorry guys that this isn't Call of Duty, I posted some Minecraft instead, and people like the Minecraft, so that kind of worked out for me, and I enjoy playing it, and it makes great videos, so that's how I got started.
Mm-hmm. about you, Sasha?
Well, my point of view is a bit different because in Russia there's not a lot of gamers, and I basically started making gaming videos because almost no one else made gaming videos, and they became pretty popular because I was a girl. And actually, Russians, they don't really like female gamers like on YouTube or teenagers who make videos, so it was pretty difficult for me. But I think it went pretty well, yeah.
Great. So maybe actually, like, it kind of opened up an interesting subject. Like, we have a panel. We are lucky this is a gaming panel, but we have 2 girls and 2 guys. So that's.
I'm a fill-in.
It's really 1.5. Yeah.
1.5. So it's balanced with me. So maybe I don't know if you could tell a bit more about what it is to be like a female gamer on YouTube. Do you think it's different than being a male gamer, and is there any challenges?
Well, I think in Russia it's a lot worse. Maybe you should explain.
Yeah, in Russia it's really, really different from here. YouTube in general, because here everyone is kind of free, you know? They can film whatever they want, say whatever they want. And in Russia, if you say something that the audience doesn't like, or if the audience doesn't agree with you, it gets crazy. Like, people stalk you, they go to your house, they give out your number to the public, and especially like girls on YouTube, no one likes them, but you know, we try. But it's really different from here.
Yeah.
Do you have the same, or is it kind of relaxed now?
I find that people are a lot more receptive to females now. I think maybe 3 or 4 years ago they weren't so much, and everyone was a bit more like, oh, why is there a girl here? She just wants to do it for attention. But most of my audience is female, so obviously females are more interested in gaming now, and they're interested in watching it and obviously playing for themselves. So I think people realize now that girls aren't just gaming for attention or making videos for attention. They actually enjoy it. So I think people are a lot more receptive to it and friendly.
And
I have no experience being a female YouTuber, but I can say that I've enjoyed watching many girls make great content, and I look forward to watching more.
Nice.
That's all I can add.
That's good. I was about to ask you, because you have like a long experience with YouTube now, so how do you feel the gaming community is in general, and is it getting better, or?
Well, I don't know if Matt's perhaps better of this when talking about the community. Our general approach is to poke them and then run away and hide behind a rock is generally our view of the YouTube community. That's our tactic.
Well, Dan, who makes the main videos, he turned his comments off quite a long time ago due to constant abuse and racism and sexism in the comments. He couldn't deal with it, and he hired me to deal with it on Reddit and everything because he couldn't be bothered. The gaming community, I don't know, there's trolls in every form of media, but the gaming community seems to attract more of them, I find. There's a lot more random abuse in the gaming community. Yeah, it hasn't really changed, honestly. It's always been like that, and more people just come into it, a lot of young people especially. So you get kind of oblivious to it at some point.
Yeah, we try and push forward as much open minds, and hopefully some of that rubs off.
And Dan pokes them and gets them to say horrible things to me, naturally, of course.
When we say pokes them to say horrible things, that's about, you know, Call of Duty or something, you know, or fancying bronies because they're just...
He likes messing with people.
Yeah, he likes messing with fanboys rather than people who are picking it for something that is unchangeable. That was awful. Go for the next question.
All right, guys. So soon, I mean, I want you guys to have a chance to ask questions to these fantastic people. So we'll do it 2 ways. So we're gonna have like some mics. But if you don't feel like taking a mic or something, you can just post on Twitter and use the hashtag #SITCGaming. I think it's not used, so it should be fine. And
clever.
I will get your question if I think it's good. I'll be filtering for the trolls and everything.
So if you tweet that and it doesn't get asked, that's because he thinks your question was poor.
That's a lot of pressure for me. So,
like I said, poke and run away.
So if you have a question, you can just raise your hand and we'll get to it.
We've got a question over here.
Yeah.
I'm a massive Joey Christopher fan, and not many people accept him in the gaming community. And I don't understand. Just because he's not good, why can't people give him a chance? Like the cube. I don't watch the Cube, I don't really care about that. But no one in the Cube fandom likes him, and they all hate on him, saying like, he shouldn't do Minecraft, he shouldn't be able to be a gamer just because he's not good enough. What, like, why? Why does he like that?
Joey is a good friend of mine, so I know that he's actually pretty good at games. I'm not very good at games, but I think
everyone is given a chance.
People forget on YouTube that it's not so much about who's better at the game, it's about who's the most entertaining while playing the game. And I find Joey very entertaining, and he's really fun to play with, and obviously he's very fun to watch because a lot of people watch him. So I think it's a lot of people just being a bit too competitive because they look at him and they think, oh, I'm better at the game, you know, I win Hunger Games more than he does, so why is he popular and I'm not? So I think it's a lot of people that forget that it's about being entertaining as well as being good at the game.
I just don't like the hate he gets because he's trying like everyone else, but he's brought down by like a certain fandom just because they don't like the fact that he's bigger than the YouTubers they watch.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, it's very subjective with YouTube personalities, especially with gaming, because it's just the voice coming across. So if people don't like your content, even if you're entertaining to many people, it's just the way it is. A lot of people don't like Dan, a lot of people probably don't like Lizzie or I'm sorry, I don't
Sasha.
And it's all just very subjective in the gaming world. You can't expect everyone to like everyone else. That's why a lot of people like PewDiePie, even though a lot of people hate him. It's not really anything to do with...
It's not deterring the subscribers, is it?
It's nothing to do with how good you are. It's just what people like.
Yeah, I completely agree with what you're saying about being entertaining. One of the things we always set out to do is play games wrong. Like, that was what we wanted to do. It's not play the game that it should be, try and make your own meta games and try and play a game in a more interesting way, which of course means that, yes, there are loads of people going, you're playing the game wrong. It's like, that's what we added.
I've never noticed that in my time of dealing with bloody...
Right, so it seems like my Twitter thing is working.
Ah, fantastic.
I get someone who wants to do one-to-one on shipment and COD4. So
sorry, say that again?
Anybody wanna one-to-one me on shipment on COD4 from Joel Beans?
I'll love you, won't you?
Thank you, Joel. But there's another one which is about collaboration. So maybe you guys can go through and tell us if, what was the process that you use when you do collaboration with other gamers, if you do any?
Well, we were just talking earlier, and we were like, oh, it would be cool if we could do a collaboration. So we just decided that we're going to do something in the future. So that's how it is. You know, if you get the opportunity to talk to someone that is another gamer that has similar interests, you have a similar channel, then you just kind of ask them you have to ask in a way that doesn't put pressure on them, so you give them the option, and yeah, if they want to do it, they'll say yes, and if they don't, they'll awkwardly back away, and you just have to leave it.
So Sasha, have you done a lot of collaboration in Russia, or?
I'm actually, I don't only make gaming videos, I also make vlogs and music videos and all that stuff. I've done a couple collabs, but gaming collabs, I've never done these, so it's new for me. I only make videos where it's me talking to the camera of the computer and playing Sims or GTA or something like that. I've never done collaborations for gaming. Yeah.
We've done a few collaborations. Mostly would be we do a running series with Martin in the Littlewood, and that kind of just came, I think, organically from sort of mutual fandom of both being a fan of each other and talking on Twitter. For the most part, we kind of have the problem when it comes to collaboration that our view of how the comedy works is Dan is the funny person and the game is the straight man. And when you try and work out, trying to work out a dynamic between two people, it's very hard to get the right dynamic because most people are also trying to be the funny person, and we find that it gets too confrontational, so we prefer to keep things when they're very structured if we can't find the right fit. But in the Littlewood has worked, which isn't to say he's not funny, but he's very calm and relaxed, whereas Dan's very manic and
blows him up constantly,
and aggressive in his own way. So we kind of had that, but as far as, yeah, lots of our vlogs, we've done more collaborations. That's just been from sort of, I follow you on Twitter and you've made enough things that you've now paid attention to the fact that you like me. We also make a lot of contacts through, we do a mystery video at the end of all of our videos, and that sends people over to other videos. And so by sharing people to a video they don't know, but is normally pretty cool, I like to think, by sending people over, they get to see that our fans have suddenly all gone over and watched one of their videos. So that's normally how we get on people's radar.
And maybe like to follow up on the vlogging part of gaming, is it something you are thinking about? Like what would make you do a vlog instead of playing a game or something? Like how do you balance the two?
Who, like, the question for who is the question?
So how would you decide, like, you do a free vlog sometimes, or, you know, videos where you show your face a bit more, so how do you decide, you know, when you do gaming or when you, like, do something more like vlogging?
Well, me, the thing is that I don't actually plan my videos. They're like scheduled, so I can't say that today I'm going to make a gaming video, then tomorrow I'm going to upload a vlog. They're all scheduled, and I haven't missed a single video for 1.5 years already, so I can't really decide. Yeah.
That's got to be a YouTube record.
2 videos a week.
I don't think anyone's not missed a, a
You
scheduled
can
video.
missed a Friday once sometimes.
There are jokes on the internet that someone did about all of our series that existed and then sort of died or failed to be regular enough that sort of went into obscurity. I mean, we have lots of content, it's just not as structured as perhaps it should have been. But it works for us.
So I have a question from Becky Yeldam also about your favorite game that you like to play, and why are they your favorite games?
What's our favorite game to play? I kind of have, so what I like to play and versus what I'll make a video on, or what we as a channel make a video on, are very different things, because often I actually really like strong narrative pieces, but then I just sort of play a game like this, which isn't, you know, interesting. So often the more open a game is, it makes it a lot easier to make a video of. So things like the GTA and Minecraft, it's very easy to see why they've become so popular, just because they're open. It's the openness that really helps when looking for a good video to make. But Metroid's my favorite game, if that's what the question was.
How about for you?
Well, my favorite to record would be Minecraft, because it's really easy to, you know, every time you play something different happens, you can't tell what's going to happen, and you can change the game a lot just with mods and whatever. So that's my favorite to record, and then to play just for fun, to chill out and not talk and sit in silence for 5 hours is World of Warcraft, because you can really sink your life into that game. I like that one.
My favorite game is The Sims. I don't know if anyone likes The Sims here, but my favorite game is The Sims, because you can actually make a story out of a whole video, and it's really cool how it turns out like a web series. And yeah, you can create weirdos and burn Sims and stuff like that. I hope I'm not the only one who does that.
I think it's a Russian thing.
No, I've seen tutorials on how to do that. It's not just Russian. But yeah, my favorite game is The Sims.
All right.
Yep. Is that how you get?
Like, yay!
Is that how you get all your subscribers? You type in Rosebud and then.
So I owe a shout out to Kieran Carew that did the first question before. There's a question that I'm sure is the one you get all the time. So how do you guys are when you were not as big as right now? How you were promoting your channel to get more subscribers? Like how do you think you arrive where you are today?
Collaborations. That's how you do it.
Yeah.
I find that if you collaborate with people that are a similar sized channel, so you know, if you have 100 subscribers, try and find other people with 100 subscribers, and once you've worked your way up to like 1,000, then find others with 1,000, then just collaborate with people. And it is slow. You have to, it's a lot of hard work, so you have to be ready for that. A lot of people come in and think, oh, you know, it's like a month's work and then I'll have 1 million subscribers at the end of it, but it's obviously not like that. It's really slow at first, and then once you get to a certain point, it takes off very fast, but yeah. So, a lot of hard work.
What worked for me, it's a bit different because in Russia we have about 6 top bloggers and you can't really collaborate with anyone because we don't have such a huge community as there is here. And I basically just scheduled my videos and I never missed them, and that's what worked because my audience knew that I would have videos coming out on Tuesdays and Fridays, and that's how I had a fixed amount of subscribers adding every day, and that's how it worked, scheduled videos, yeah.
And the way that we did it was we kind of built a fan base around the comic, and the comic kind of just was, it spent a whole year sort of, and over the year of us writing it, before we started the YouTube, we sort of picked up about less than 1,000 people were sort of following us. But, I mean, we were happy with that. We got a few extra people when it got retweeted by Notch, and that crashed our site, as happens. But it's nice, because later on we then started to crash at other people's sites, sending people to free games.
Well, there was the thing with Machinima as well, wasn't there?
But yeah, once we started making videos, we also did a parallel series of working in 42 Ways to Die, and Machinima were very nice in letting us, we made the video for them, and we got paid for it, but we also got to put an advert at the end of it to click through into our main series. Because of that, we got quite a few people coming over to us. So that was good as well.
And do you think, it's also like a question from someone, Lamas Puck, I'm not sure I'm pronouncing it correctly, or Puke. Do you think it's good to choose a game that is already popular, or should you specialize into like smaller games or something a bit more niche?
Well, I mean, we're definitely into going into the niche games, and particularly when you're starting out, it's so much easier to get rights for small games because you can find the developers on their website pretty early. Also, the chance of you lucking into a good relationship that is helpful later on down the line. Like, one of the first videos we did was for an indie game called Overgrowth, and the person, the dev working on it, also happens to work with the Humble store. So it was a really nice one where he liked us because we'd made a really useful video and sent people over there. But then we've then kept that relationship so that we can now help out with the Humble store, and we did our own sort of collaboration with the Humble store recently. Well,
that's a point actually. One of the things Dan always recommends, even to me, is because I have a small channel, well, still small, but he always says do indie games and get network with developers. I mean, all of our were quite friends with Mike Bethel, who made Thomas Was Alone and was working on Volume. It's good to get those relationships with developers there because you can get those new games, and if that developer does become popular. And also it's a good way to get out to fans of those games, and it gets you interesting games that's not called, like, new games can be interesting, obviously, it's very oversaturated, so get into a specific area and focus on that. It doesn't work for everyone.
That's just our view, and obviously you've specialised in games that are bigger. But it's worked for you. Yeah. They're good videos.
I think it's just important to play what you enjoy, really. And if you enjoy mainstream games, then play mainstream. And occasionally indie games is what I play as well. So.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Great. So
can we ask this guy next? I think his arm's about to break off.
Let's take some real life question.
Real life? We can't be in real life. It's not allowed.
Do you think that the YouTube gaming community has sort of come to a halt because there's not enough room for like newcomers, because there's so many massive YouTubers that have so many subscribers, and it sort of halts the new ones coming through?
It does feel that way sometimes. It seems like it's hard to get in because it's already so exclusive to the people that are already there, but if you have the good content, then people will pay attention and they'll let you in. It might take a while for you to be accepted by the main majority that are already friends and stuff, but I think there is a way in if you have good enough content.
I think it's very subjective on viewpoint. Like, if you want to become the next PewDiePie, for example, like, taking the place of PewDiePie is different from reaching his level. As in, we came up when he was already one of the bigger YouTubers, and we now have, we've got 1.8 million subscribers, which was roughly what he had when we started. But he's now got far more than that. You know, it's the, can you grow? Yes. But are you necessarily going to be able to take them? You kind of need to wait for them to come down. I think these things normally go in cycles that you can already see sort of in just how YouTube works. Like Freddie W used to be on top, and then we had, well, I think Ray William Johnson was on top for a while. Gaming's definitely doing a lot better now, but it's kind of that some of those other channels have fallen as much as gaming has done better, and I think that we will equally see such fluctuations within the community that certain people will do better. I certainly don't think that while PewDiePie wants to make videos, he's going anywhere, and I think the similar is said for most successful people, but they will be less, they might be growing less or starts giving way to new content when new content comes out. But I do agree, it's getting a lot harder.
Sasha, you started your channel recently, so maybe you have a
I started my channel 1.5 years ago, and I honestly think that if you want to make videos, you just have to make videos and work, you know, and film videos, not just sit there and be like, oh my god, I want to become famous on YouTube. If you really love making videos, you shouldn't have a problem, because you're going to make it, you know? If you work, you're going to make it.
I agree with that, because on the plus side, like, if you make videos and you enjoy it, then at the end of the day, you've had fun making a video.
Don't do it.
It doesn't matter what your audience is going to be.
Great. So we have more questions.
Hi guys. Slightly technical question here. So gaming, if you're gaming on a PC, can be quite tough on it. Would you say a good gaming PC would also make a good editing PC too? In terms
Yes
of,
and
in terms
no.
of power and, you know, render time and stuff like that.
GPU is less important when it comes to editing, and RAM is the thing that you need way more than anything else in editing, and processor is where you want to put all of your money if you're making a good gaming PC. Fortunately, Dan has a monster of a machine which is very powerful in both, but when you're editing, you're not taxing the CPU at all, but you need to be able to store all of those big video files, and equally, most games these days, it's the how many monsters can you get on screen is all down to how big your CPU's running. Is that right? Anyone going to object to that?
I mean, if you're making gaming videos, I find that having a powerful GPU is important to make the game look the best you can for the audience. But as you said, CPU and RAM are very important if you're editing. That's pretty much it.
Comments on the technical side of
I edit on a Mac, and I try to film the gaming videos on a PC, so, you know, it's a bit hard, but I honestly prefer Mac for editing to a PC.
What software do you use?
Final Cut Pro.
I strongly recommend Premiere Pro.
He scoffs at me for using a Mac partition to edit.
All right.
What do you use to edit? Because you do quite a bit of editing.
Mine's like, my computer is not a monster by any means. It's okay, it's good
That's
for,
fine.
you know, it's probably cost around 500 or 600, and that was a custom build, so it's kind of on the cheap side of high-end gaming PCs, but I find that it does what I need it to do and nothing more than that, which is probably just about right. So, you know,
But actually, you don't need a powerful PC to do gaming
yeah, you don't
videos.
need to spend thousands. Don't spend thousands straight off the bat. You know, start off with the middle range and then work your way up if you find the success and you find that you need a better PC for it.
And on this kind of subject, question from Trixie Doodles, and for those that arrive, you can use SITC Gaming if you have more questions. What gaming capture software do you use?
I use Fraps.
Fraps.
I personally use DxTory.
I use a weird one. I use Movavi, I think it's called, or something like that. You probably don't even know what it is.
All right.
We've used a few other ones if Fraps doesn't work, but we try and use Fraps. Like, because we go through a lot of different games every now and then, particularly old games. Because we like a good old game every now and then. And you know when you dust off your 98 game and you go, and the dust comes off and you're like, let's see if that works. No.
Yeah, Fraps is compatible with more things.
And then you spend a few days trying to get it to work on something, and then you're going, oh, well. But yeah, for the most part, Fraps.
Cool. Do you have more questions? You can raise your hand.
You mentioned before about like old school games. Like, of course, I've got a NES, a SNES, Mega Drive, like just limited stuff. But basically, what do you prefer to make videos? Like, what sort of games do you like to prefer to make videos of? Like the new stuff, like your Watch Dogs, and maybe the latest Call of Battlefield or whatever. Or do you like to get the good old NES out and just play some Mega Man or whatever, some backlog bin thing?
I mean, for me, it's a good game. Like, it's independent of time. Like, a bad game in the old days is still bad. That's true, and you can make a good video out of a hilariously bad game. But I think good games are always going to survive, and new good games are always fun too. So long as you didn't have an old game that was good because of the capabilities at the time, and they tend to be dwarfed later on. You're like, oh, someone thought that looked good at some point, did they? But no, I've recently been playing an awful lot of Xenoblade Chronicles, which isn't necessarily an old game, but is on the Wii. And I've now spent 100 hours playing on my Wii, and all of that is on this one game. We've been playing an awful lot of PlayStation 2 stuff recently, because we bought a PlayStation 2 in sort of that angst of sort of, I remember this being a great console, and just releasing a whole load of videos of that. And then buying the cables that sort of, rather than the 3 component cables, the 3 composite cables, and going up to component cables and going, I didn't think I'd be happy for 480p, but there it happens.
You remember the question?
I've forgotten the question.
Do you like new games or old games?
For recording, I think just because it's a new game, it doesn't mean it's necessarily good for recording. I think it's a variety. It's, yeah, and not all old games are suitable for recording either. It depends on the type of game, I think. What do you think?
Honestly, I think you should play or record the games that you like, but I was lucky enough, I got to play Sims 4. I went to San Francisco to the Electronic Arts office, and it's really, really cool. You guys should definitely get it when it comes out, and I really think it depends. Like, you should play the games that you like. I don't think there's some kind of, I don't know how you say that in English. What do you call it? Like, when you can do something or you can't, like the middle of that someone says, you can't do that because that's old. Like, your mom watches that or something like that. But yeah, I think you got what I meant.
Yeah. Cool. Is there more question from in the front? Maybe?
Is it actually possible to get what I'm
recently,
saying?
they found out that there's some sort of code in the GTA 5 game for zombies. Do you think zombies are overused in video games nowadays?
Very.
Yes.
Don't reckon why.
Sorry, did you have more that you wanted to ask?
No. I was just asking whether you like zombies or not in video games.
Zombies are great. They're just used in everything, so they get boring.
Yeah, I think there was... Zombies are popular, and I definitely understand that one of the few things we've managed to do in the new generation of computers is put more monsters on the screen, and that kind of helps for a zombie game, but I think there are some perks to it, like the survival aspect I definitely think is a fun thing, but yes, it is just getting to the point where, particularly because one of the other things that often comes up is the oversaturation of the game market. And when you're looking at so many games, you are there going, why have you all decided that zombies was the right decision? Like, I come up with at least once a week a stupid idea for a computer game that if I had enough time I would make. And I'm just there going, how have we just got a million zombie games? But luckily there are some games out there that aren't zombie games and we can play them.
It's the default monster a lot of devs just go to. so it's a bit overused and boring at this point.
Views on zombies?
I love zombies. I love zombie movies, books, TV shows, anything to do with zombies, so yeah, it's always a win for me.
I don't know, honestly, I don't know what zombies are put into games for, because I personally, I'm not scared of zombies, but I don't know, maybe someone else is.
Okay, I'd like to say I'm scared of spiders, and if people put spiders in games, I will not play that game.
Zombie spiders?
Spiders, not with the monsters on.
Heart attack.
Seriously, we've turned them off. Yeah, no. I hate spiders so much. And like, that's one of the big rules for us. However, luckily, we're now becoming big enough that we can talk to some devs and actually get them to remove the spiders in special editions of the game for us. Like, we have got to that point where we're like, here's a press copy. It doesn't have it looks like it has spiders in the trailer. We could remove those for you. Thank you. Pardon? Yeah, teddy bear or something.
In Skyrim, Dan modded out the spiders and replaced them with just massive bear models that didn't move. They were kind of hilarious.
Cool. I had a question from Alisa Slade. Who are your favorite YouTuber to watch, guys?
In general, or like gamers?
Let's do both.
Oh my god. You go first.
I actually really enjoy PewDiePie's videos. I don't watch them that often, but when I do, I always enjoy them. And I actually watch a lot of like vloggers and makeup gurus and stuff like that. I watch like all of YouTube, and I find one channel and then I obsess over it for a few hours, and then I forget about it, and then I find another one, you know, like a week later, and it goes through that very often.
My favorite YouTuber is probably PewDiePie. I love when he makes Happy Wheels videos because I find them extremely funny. And also, my favorite, like, not a gamer, just a favorite YouTuber would be JackScap.
I am under contractual obligation to say NerdCube to both answers.
Yay! That didn't feel forced at all.
No, it didn't.
Who do we watch? I too sort of have that sort of watch one set of people really strongly and then just move on to something else. I don't watch quite so much gaming just because we do it all of ourselves and my own recreational gaming, and then you kind of run out of time because we have a pretty high turnaround of things. Who else? Oh, lots of the people we collaborate with, so sort of people like emmablackery. I love a good Tom Scar video. I like a lot of the video. Oh, I love Becoming YouTube. That was a great series. That was well worth watching. Yeah, there's so many things, but you just go through them and go, oh, burn through it, and then go to the next one.
Right, if you have a question, you can raise your hand again. There's a couple in the back for the guys.
Hello there.
Hello.
So, a lot of gaming channels have a specific series that they're appreciated for. How do you guys transition into new series without your subscriber base getting mad? I have this problem myself, but...
Okay, we always try and run multiple series at the same time, and we fail a lot. And then we just leave, and we hired him to deal with the fans' anger at us leaving series.
Many fans, yeah.
But yeah, if you've got enough different things on the go at the same time, so don't do a hard jump from one to another, and do a soft overlay of, for a while we're doing multiple ones. If you've got a schedule, doing something like on 1 day a week I'm doing this, so Mondays and Fridays or whatever, Mondays I'm doing this, on Fridays I'm doing this new thing, and then slowly stop doing the other thing as it comes to an end, you'll find more people transition over better.
I mean, you're going to have the fans that hate everything else you do except for the one thing, and you're going to have fans that love everything you do.
There is a fact that if you have ever done anything, you were better in the old days.
Slow transition is my advice there.
Yeah, and you changed. Yeah. I watched the old stuff and I loved it, and now you're just lame. That will happen no matter who you are, and I'm sorry for that. On behalf of the human race.
Lizzie and Sasha, you have any big series that you...
I think my channel is mostly Minecraft. I think that's what it's based on, so I think that's the majority of what people watch. But I do introduce other games, and they obviously don't do as well as Minecraft because nothing will replace Minecraft for them. But you can't expect everyone to watch everything and love it. Either they're going to love it and keep watching it, or they're not going to like it and they're just going to hopefully just decide not to watch it anymore and not complain. But sometimes they will complain, and you just kind of have to ignore it. And, you know, I personally feel that a variety is the best because it keeps it interesting for me, and it keeps it interesting for them as well to watch, because if you watch someone play the same game over and over, it gets a little bit old. So yeah, I think the variety is good, but not everyone's okay with it.
I just try to mix the games up. I'm not really sure I heard the question right, but like I just try to mix games up, you know. I play Sims and then I play other games because my audience mostly watches The Sims, but yeah.
And on the subject of content, like there's a question from Steph is a loser. People have funny username.
Cool username.
Do you think it's important to, like PewDiePie does, to combine like a mix of gaming and vlogging to become popular?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I think it's extremely important because you don't only interest gaming people, but also people who just watch vlogs or beauty videos. Well, guys don't do beauty videos, but you know what I mean. Well, maybe, like dressing up, okay, that's just getting weird. But I think it's really important to mix up gaming with other kinds of videos.
So we have a separate channel, and we've always kept it separate so that the audience has the choice whether or not they want the other material. Because if you've got one side that's dominant and one side that's is just there, then you always get into danger of having your audience in the wrong place. So we like to have the partition. That having been said, I don't know, we've always come from the side that we're entertainers, and we like to use many different forms and always looking for new ways to entertain. Whether that's doing this, doing panels, we're looking at making games is something we're looking into. So we're looking at how to entertain and how to move that. And for us, real live action, sketches, vlogs is all part of that same thing.
Good. We have more questions? We have time for a few more here. This is the moment of silence. Breathe a bit.
Hi. When you're recording content, how do you always make sure that you have something to say? Like, do you write it out beforehand of things that you want to include? Like, obviously not word for word. Or do you just kind of improv it and see where it takes you?
For me, I just say whatever I'm thinking, and it gets really, really weird because I can play a game and say such weird things. It's crazy, and I get a lot of hate because of that, because I can say literally anything that comes to my mind, something that doesn't make sense at all, but sometimes it's funny. But I don't think writing out a script before you play a game is the best thing.
Not a script, like, just like say...
I know what you mean, yeah, but I think it's better to just be yourself and be natural, because that's what people like, at least, I think.
I think a lot of what I do is improv, so because with Minecraft, just anything can happen, you know, you can die in the middle of nowhere and you weren't expecting that, so you can't really write that kind of stuff out. But before an episode, I'll kind of write down a list of things that I want to do in the episode. So for example, I want to build a tree house and get 3 pets or something like that. So I'll have that in my head. I won't necessarily tell the audience that that's what I'm going to do at the start, but I will know that that's what I want to do. So I have kind of a direction, and then I just see where the game takes me.
I was going to say, it very much changes depending on what sort of series we're running at the time. If it's a game where most of our stuff is sort of new games, and so we kind of either only have a very small idea or no idea what the game is going in, at which point we just trust our improv skills and edit. In general, you'll have an opinion over something and you can cut out all the bits where you didn't have an opinion. As far as things where we have planned, there's the small amount of planning on I'm going to build a house and that's my job today, and we'll see what happens to stop that or something. But we do have a tendency to, every now and then, normally actually halfway through a video, you sort of have that sort of, okay, this would be a good ending, and then we do have a tendency to sort of script things or find something and go, okay, if I can force that to happen, I can do the setup that will make that happen. So there is, but often that's only on an end note. It's a, that would be a really good ending, can I force that to be an ending? Or occasionally we have an interesting take on something that we want to do. If we've worked out a particular way or a particular style, or, you know, occasionally we've done a, this is the beginning of the video of everything going wrong, and sort of a 3 hours earlier, and then cut to the beginning of the video when we've just started, or something like that. When it's things like that, we generally sort of halfway through the video, you can see where it's going, and it's kind of like that, half reading it and then going, okay, what do I need just to push this to 11 on the scale of what could happen naturally?
Me on my personal channel, I record for 2 hours and I cut it down to 20 minutes. And it's, you know, an hour and 40 minutes of me not saying funny things, or me not talking, or nothing interesting happening. And that's the route I take, and that's the route Dan mostly took at first. And he naturally, over the course of his YouTube career, he's kind of gotten a lot better at just talking and filling the gaps. And it's something that you have to get used to and kind of practice at, which I haven't. So I mean, I hate it, as I say. But just, I don't know, keep it natural, really. Don't force things, don't write scripts, because in gaming, you can't really do it, unless you're doing a machinima or something, then different story, but keep it natural, I always say.
I think there is a progress as you're going through, though, that you kind of, there's the comedic structure, and a lot of it you learn as you go along. Like, the answer is, you do it badly at first.
Yeah, trial and error.
And then you get better as you go along. We definitely found that rather than the amount of good stuff we say got better, we just learned to shut up when it wasn't, so we knew that that was the edits, and it makes it a lot faster in editing to go, oh, that was a bit where I had nothing good to say, but that was a bit where I had something really funny, so I can keep those, and it cuts your editing down.
Just keep
practicing. That's for if you want to output videos every day sort of thing.
Cool. So I think we have a couple of minutes left, but I just wanted to ask you guys, and I warned you in advance of this question, if you could tell us about a story that happened to you, like let's say the most funny story that happened to you because of your YouTube channel.
Funny story that happened to us. I think probably the most interesting thing is me and Dan are both huge Stephen Moffat fans, and then he went on to become writer of Doctor Who. And even during the webcomics, his son became a fan of ours. So we actually got to go over to his place and interview him. And apparently, like, and his sons were watching us, and it was very weird with that sort of our hero worship and then his children's hero worship over us at the same time. It was very surreal.
Any funny stories?
Well, I think just going to like conventions like VidCon, and I'm kind of a fangirl on the inside because I do watch a lot of YouTube, so when I'm in a room with a bunch of other YouTubers and it's only YouTubers in there, and I'm just like, okay, Dan and Phil are stood like 2 meters away from me, this is totally normal, and it's like I'm fangirling on the inside, but on the outside I'm like, yeah, no big deal. But it's pretty crazy. When you actually think about it, you're like, okay, this is really weird. The collective subscribers of the people in this room is probably like 500 million. It's crazy.
I'm afraid I don't have a random story to tell. I'm sure I do, but I just don't have one in my mind right now. I feel like my whole life is a random story because of YouTube, because now I'm here, and I mean, I could have been at home, but man, I got to go to England and to summer in the city. It's really cool. But I don't really have a random funny story to tell, I'm sorry.
Maybe after this weekend.
Yes, maybe after this weekend.
Cool, so I want to thank you guys. Are you going to stay around if people have more questions? I know some people have asked more questions, but maybe they can talk to you. It's fine.
We have a plan to try and meet people out around near, just in the upper corner of the Sony booth, and do a sort of fan meet up there. So if you want to take photos or meet us there, and certainly you're welcome to come along too.
Cool. Well, thanks a lot, guys. It was thanks for everything.
Cool. Thanks for coming.
Thank you.